Carlo on the stream, prediction on the Niners starting O-line. I mean, it's starting to look like it's pretty, I don't want to say settled, but it's looking like it's 71, John.
Yeah.
Trent Williams at the left.
I think
left
he's entrenched, yeah.
Banks, are you feeling entrenched?
I mean, I feel like he's just going to get the shot. If you told me it doesn't go well, like he's not on scholarship there, but I think this is where, guys that have been in the league would just tell you that people claim that draft status doesn't matter, right? Like it doesn't matter where you start. Well, it kind of does. Like is Banks getting a shot? Like if Aaron Banks was the 7th round pick, not the 2nd round pick, is he just consistently repping at the ones? I don't know. It's today was definitely hard to tell. I mean, they were in shorts and a t-shirt just with a jersey over it. But I've seen a couple of times that make me a little nervous, but I have no problem force feeding him there. But, you have the ability to pivot just because, like, the backup, if your starter is average to below, the backup is no different usually, right? Where the starter is huge, like there's a gap, is when you get even like a McGlinchey, right? A functional starter at right tackle or an above average guy. The gap between him and the backup is probably like 1 out of 10 is like 3 or 4 notches, where if the guy's just a low level starter, then him and the backup are basically a coin flip. We've learned that with Brunskill over the years, right? Like I'd be like, this guy from the AAF, and then you see him, you're like, yeah, he's just a functional player, right?
And at this point, it's shaping up like he's going to be the backup center swing guard, right? It looks like Jake Brendel has the inside track at center. I mean, we haven't played a preseason game yet. And Jack Buford, like it seems to me, if you're looking for something to watch during their preseason games, we don't know exactly who will be playing what, but I think that'll be probably one of the bigger like beat writer, the fans that get in the nitty gritty of the offensive line play. Like Jack Burford, is going to be one of the bigger stories because right now he is getting first team reps with them at right guard, the 4th round pick out of UTSA, and then obviously McGlinchey at right tackle. So,
yeah, I think that'll be fine.
The thing, I mean, Jake Brendel's played started 3 games at center, something like that. Obviously, Burford is a rookie. I heard Mayoko say, I heard Barrow say that of all the second rounders in last year's draft, only one player played fewer snaps than Aaron Banks, who played 5.
Who was it?
Kyle Trask,
who was just a backup quarterback to play 0 snaps.
Bucks, right? The Bucks weren't drafting him.
So you're saying that basically every second round pick played at one point in time.
I'm saying I'm saying every second round pick played more snaps than Aaron Banks, except for the guy who was drafted to be a 3rd quarter. Like they didn't even draft Kyle Trask to be Tom Brady's backup last year.
Yeah, Gabbert was, yeah.
So that's how much Aaron Banks played last year. 5 snaps.
Again, a little nitty gritty because even just your average like diehard football guy is not concerned with like the Niners guards and centers. I do think just because we spend so much time, and rightfully so, we're not going to talk much about guards and centers. Like shit, that bored me when I worked in the NFL, and you and I would be out of business if we did it. But just from a big picture football draft status, which I think everyone's always intrigued by, if you just say draft round, there is pressure on Aaron Banks to just be like a couple-year starter. When I draft the guy in the 2nd round, it's one thing if he was a 5th rounder. It's like, it turned out he wasn't good enough, whatever. Burford, if it in a couple years, like whatever. I got no problem taking
Spencer
swings.
Burford, I called him Jack Spencer.
Luckily, no one watching this knows either. But to me, Banks, like if not only, it's one thing just to earn the starting spot, which I think, is he really earning it, or is it just, he's kind of just getting it? If he can't hold on to it, you and I talked about this, I think, on Tuesday's show after the practice. Like, that's a huge whiff because especially this team, right? They just, for the next several years, including that draft, like they only have so many bullets in the gun drafting in the top 100. They don't have, I mean, Miami has their 1st round pick coming up. So remember how big of a, like part of the reason I'm excited about Drake Jackson is like, that was a huge pick for them. That was their first pick of the night at pick whatever. I mean, shit, they were the NFC Championship game, so it was the end of the 2nd round. And it's why I'm hyping them up, because I think, like, you should not be able to get a potential talent like that at the end of the 2nd round. Like, I wouldn't have blamed them. It's like, just we didn't have great options. Like, yeah, I get it. Like you didn't have a 1st round pick. There's no wheeling and dealing to be done. But with Banks, shit, I mean, There's just pressure on that kid to be good. There just is. And I think part of the thing that was a little weird is you and I are at practice today, and we're standing next to Jake Brendel, the potential starting center, and he's not very big. I remember standing next to Alex Mack last year, and again, I mean, Mack at one point in time, first-round pick, blue chipper from Cal, several-time Pro Bowler. He was a big dude. Remember a couple times last year, you stand next to him, he's all sweaty ass. He's a big motherfucker.
I saw him at Pac-12 Media Day last week, John. I saw him from afar. I don't know exactly what, but he's got like a keg for an upper body chest.
Mack.
Yeah, Alex Mack. It's crazy.
Like you walk
Seeing
by
him in
Mack,
just like a golf shirt.
if you walk by Mack, you didn't know who the hell he was at just a burger joint, and someone's like, that guy plays NFL, you don't even hesitate to be like, hell yeah, that guy plays in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
You and I were talking like Jake Brendel is he's small. Now, and I told you, like, in this scheme, and Kelsey has done it for a long time, Kelsey is not a very big guy either. You can get away with quicks and great athleticism. But Mack, who was, I mean, literally the last year of his career, they do not look close to the same. I mean, they just don't. So it's just they're downgrading in terms of size greatly. He's small. I would
experience.
I would guess just on the eye test, there can't be many smaller centers in the NFL. Would you agree? Just looking at him. You always give yourself an extra inch.
6'4", so even if he's 6'3", he spreads out the 299 well.
So he says 299. He might weigh 288.
288.
What do you think Mack was doing? Is he working for somebody?
They have like alumni meetings. Usually he might be on an alumni council. I think he is. So they have those guys. Maybe that's what it was. I'm not exactly sure, but